Hey everyone, welcome to the Better Together podcast. We're here with some amazing guests. I'll introduce them in a second. But just to remind you guys, what we're really trying to do is just create a revolution around unity and collaboration. The work that we do is more city focused, but we're really trying to get people to understand what their role is in the world and how they can work together with other people to see the world around them change. So ideally, you'd be coming out of this podcast with some really clear principles on unity and collaboration, and just some fun facts about some people that might relate to you, that you might kind of see yourself in. So because of that, we have an amazing person that we're going to interview, and her husband, James. We're kind of going to interview the three of them. Coda, you've already probably heard him talk a little bit. And they're going to share about their life and what they're up to. And you'll get to just see some really cute baby content, which will be really fun. And again, like, our podcast is hopefully just supposed to be a little bit lighthearted. So James will be kind of in and out of the podcast if he needs to be, and you'll get to experience like what real life is in the Callis family. We're actually in their living room too, so yes. You're getting like the full like in-depth picture of their life.
An immersive experience.
Exactly, immersive experience. So I'm going to introduce you, BEKAH. BEKAH is a Southern California lifestyle creator with over 56,000 people across Instagram and TikTok that she influences. And she doesn't like to talk about the numbers, but they're really impressive, and she's worked really, really hard for them. So we want to brag about her. And she inspires other moms to find joy in every day, just capturing life's full spectrum, everything from like family adventures, like traveling, things like that, to daily messy routines. Like being a mom can be messy.
Yes.
And then she does it alongside James. So they're really a team. He's usually behind the camera, sometimes in front of the camera when BEKAH asks him to, but usually behind the camera. But they're really working together, not only to raise Coda, who's an incredible miracle baby, but also just to influence people and just bring some hope for them as they go into their journey of motherhood and having a family. So, yes. BEKAH, I'm going to hand it off to you.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about your life and upbringing, and then we can get into the story about how you guys met too, if you want to.
Okay.
That's a really, really cool story. And then if Coda or James want to talk too, they totally can. So.
Okay. I'm sure Coda will have a lot to say. Well, first off, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. A little background about me.
Yeah. Love it.
A little background about me. I was homeschooled my entire childhood, high school, all throughout high school. Never stepped foot in a public school. So I grew up in New Jersey. Cool. One of 5. I'm the oldest of 5 kids. James, I can talk later about how I met James, but my family, my mom is a stay-at-home mom, raised all of us kids, and homeschooled all of us kids. My dad was in real estate. So growing up, when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do as a career, I really wanted to work with my dad at some point in real estate. So went to county college, and 2 years into going to college, I just said, you know what, I want to go get my real estate license. I want to start making money now. I didn't want to go get my bachelor's degree. So the first was it for 4 years, I was in real estate, and I was a realtor in New Jersey with my dad. We started our little company together, and I did that for 4 years. Cool. So I have a background in that. Wow. And
so if people want to buy a home, they can talk to you?
Could have. I don't have my license
not
anymore.
Okay. Dang it.
Yeah. But once James and I moved to Nashville, that's when I pressed pause on that because, couldn't be a long distance realtor. Then I went into property management. So that's what I was doing before full-time content creation. So I was in that for about 3 years. Cool. And the entire time I had always had my phone out capturing even just my little travels with my friends, or with my family, I was always like taking content without ever realizing that it could be a career for some people. I would always just capture the day-to-day life and my travels. And February, when we had Coda, is when I quit my job and took content creation full time. So I had always, I guess I never really realized that it could be a career for some people. But literally looking back, even I was telling James the other day, looking back at when I was 14 years old, I had a note on my phone of YouTube videos I wanted to make. Like I had always wanted to be creating.
That's so cool. When you were a kid, did you ever make like movies?
Yes.
Ari and I talk about it all the time, how
Oh my gosh.
most kids, especially when you had little cameras, like handheld cameras, would make these movies and reenactments of other movies.
Oh, yes. We had so many like skits and movies, and we would edit it on what's it?
Like iMovie or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was always creating. It was
Yeah.
just second nature to me.
That's fun.
And then back in 2021 is when I started taking it a little bit more seriously with the small glimpse of hope that maybe one day I'd be able to take it full time. And I don't think I really ever actually felt like that was tangible until the last few years.
That's so cool. I love that. So I want to get into your vision a little bit, but before that, I want to hear about how you guys met. And James, if you want to share part of the story, you can too, but no pressure because I know you got your hands full there.
Yeah. I'll try to see if this mic can stay here without Coda grabbing it.
So funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. How'd you guys meet?
Gosh, we met when we were 13 years old.
I love that.
In high school.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So we were both homeschooled, and we went to like this art school where we learned like music and like drama and like what else? Like we were in choir and stuff together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we met there, and it was we just pretty much instantly became best friends.
So cool.
Since
Platonic best friends.
Platonic, yeah. We didn't date throughout. Are we telling like the whole story? Like how
you can
deep
give
are we
me
getting
like
into
the
it?
short version if you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Short version. We didn't date in high school.
Because we thought each other was cute, but we both didn't want to ruin the friendship because we were known as like best friends, and we told each other we were best friends, but we didn't want to.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to be the first one to share my feelings. He also
Basically,
didn't.
I was a wimp and didn't tell BEKAH how I felt before college, so that was on me.
Okay.
But we both had different experiences through college, and a few years into college, we started dating. Yeah, we're skipping over like a ton.
Yeah, it's a
It's
really
like
good
a
story. It could be
25,
like a
30
totally
minute
different
Yeah,
story.
it's a long story.
I've heard the story, which is
Yeah.
I want to hear a little bit. I want them to hear a little bit about the transition from being friends to dating, but I don't think we can get into all of it. But okay, what were you doing at the time, and what were you doing at the time when you guys decided to make it official and actually start dating?
Yeah, you want to go first?
Yeah. So that was in 2019. And yeah, basically, long story short, our love story. We were best friends in all throughout high school. He went off to college. I was in a relationship with somebody else at the time, so obviously we were just stayed best friends. But after I had broken off that relationship, and again, that's a whole nother story, but James came back. He was in New Jersey, which is where we were both from, and he came back to see his mom, who was undergoing a surgery, and we kind of just like met up over chicken nuggets and rekindled our friendship. And
Nice.
And you had, I think you were in your last year of school.
I came home for the summer, and we rekindled. I was in my last year of school, and that's kind of when we started dating, and then COVID happened. So yeah. Wait. I don't know.
I love that. Yeah. And then you guys got married. Like, how long ago after you started dating?
We started dating in 2019, and then we got married 2020.
Okay.
Because basically, when I found out that he had liked me for the past 10 years, and when we found out that we that James still liked me and we still had feelings. I knew, like, we both knew that we were getting married. It was just a matter of when.
Yeah.
And yeah, we had plans to have this big wedding, and then COVID hit. So we were like, you know what? Why are we going to wait for a venue to tell us when we can get married? Let's just get married on the beach with our family and immediate family and grandparents. So I'm married in 2020.
In New Jersey? Is that where you
in
guys
New
are
Jersey?
married? Okay.
Yeah. So we've been married for over 5 years.
Yeah.
And it's been the best.
Best 5 years of my life.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was telling me about some songs that he had written too.
Oh my God.
That was that the band was playing about you, and you were like, are those about me? I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, like I said,
lots of songs.
I love that. It could literally be a movie.
Yeah,
I love that.
We missed a lot of the little details there, but
yeah. As people get to know your story, then they'll probably hear a little bit more too.
I actually have my YouTube video of how we met. It's like a
Really?
40-minute long video.
Okay,
on my
you guys
YouTube.
need to go watch that.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna insert that link in the description so people can see the long version, the movie version, basically.
Yeah.
And then maybe somebody will get inspired to make a movie of you guys.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about it, that it could be that.
I think I'm gonna sell it to like Hallmark or something.
Yes, you should. Okay, Hallmark, if you're watching, you know this is a really good story. Okay, let's talk about your vision. So tell me a little bit about like how you would articulate what you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish with some of the platforms that you have.
So I would say my vision is that I want to inspire other women and especially other moms to find joy in the mundane of raising a family and having children. And there's this stigma out here that life is over when you have kids. Lots of people say you lose your identity, and it's like, you know, it's only your kids. And I really feel like you can still have your passion projects, you can still have your hobbies, you can still have events with other women here in my house and other gatherings, and still be a mom and still find joy in the little moments. And life doesn't have to life of course changes with kids, but life doesn't have to stop. And yeah, I just really want to inspire other moms out there to just find the joys of the mundane and joys in the little moments of everyday life.
That's so cool.
Whether that be just like going to the beach together with your kids, having a picnic together, or even just when I'm vacuuming around the house, like Coda's just right next to me, and just capturing those everyday moments and viewing them from, I guess, like a different lens.
Yeah, I love it. So we're going to get a little bit into some of the different layers on how you're doing that. I think one of them obviously is like, in order to have a vision for what you want to do, you have to have like some understanding as to what you were put on this earth to do. And that usually comes from your relationship with God. So we'll talk about that a little bit. And then also, like, when you have a family, I think you're right. Life doesn't have to end. In fact, it actually is better when you're doing it with other people, with the people that you love.
Yeah.
And it's more adventurous. Like, even this is a fun adventure.
Yeah.
Him drinking his milk. It's the first time we've had somebody
drinking a bottle
on the podcast. I love it. And then we'll get into the other area of influence that you have, which is your Instagram community. But before we do all of that, I think you're building unity in those areas. But let's talk about how you felt the clarity of your calling to help other moms like see that about their life, that they could actually have a joyful life.
Yeah, it was definitely when I was probably, honestly, all throughout my pregnancy, I had always told James, like, at the end of my 9 months, when I have Coda, I think I want to quit my job. And I just felt like from the Lord that is what he was calling me to do. It was obviously really scary because it's like financial uncertainty. We knew that we would be going down to just one consistent income, and that I would be taking a leap of faith and quitting my stable job. So I really felt from the Lord I knew that I was doing the right thing by telling work that I wasn't going back and taking content full time. And James obviously has been like such a supporter in
So cool.
in that, and he has believed in me from like since day one. And he just kept telling me like you are you're gonna kill it, like you were meant for this. He just honestly like encourages me every single day to keep going. But yeah, I really feel like the Lord gave me clarity by the end of my 9 months, especially, to where I knew, even though I had like not much lined up yet, I knew I was doing the right thing by quitting my job and taking content full time.
Wow.
So obviously through a lot of prayer, God confirmed that. But yeah, it's been like the best season, and so exciting, and
That's
such
so
a fun
cool.
chapter.
So it sounds like the thing that helped you step into your vision was, number one, like trusting in God.
Yeah.
And then also like you had to have some courage there, and then also just trusting in each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what was that like for you, James? Like, I mean, it sounds like you were really supportive, but how was that experience for you as you were?
I would say I think it's easy to be supportive of someone as consistent as BEKAH. I saw her for like 3+ years being consistent, posting at least 4 times a week, consistently every week, and doing all the little things. There's like content creation, there's a lot of little things that you got to do. It's like coming up with briefs, coming up with engaging with other creators that she's in community with, and also like tons of other little things, like communicating with brands. It's like a full-time job. And I've seen her be consistent with that every single day for 3 years, so it's easy to have confidence in someone like that. Hey, bud. You good?
I love that advice though. Even like in any other area of work, if you want to have trust, you need to have consistency.
Yeah.
And I think he was able to trust you because of the way that you leaned into being consistent, and you kind of, not that you had to prove anything to him, but you helped him feel safe about that decision.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Because I feel like naturally I'm very entrepreneurial. I've always been like that.
That's awesome.
Like even when I was younger, like I said, like I was in real estate, and even before that, at like age 12, I had a whole cupcake business, and I had a babysitting business with like 18 different family clients. I've just always been entrepreneurial minded. So the thought of working for somebody, like always, I was like, I want to work for myself. I want to work for myself. And
when we first got married, I was like, Ari, it's okay. Like, if you just get a regular job, like life isn't going to be over. And she's like, I don't want to work for somebody. I want to work for myself. And she's the same way. She's right here. For those of you who can't see her, she's on audio today, but she's very similar. Like very driven. Like doesn't want to be confined by other people's desires. Like wants to build her own thing out in the world. So I totally get that.
Yeah, I see that for sure.
So let's talk about your guys' marriage. So you had a relationship with the Lord. He gave you some calling and clarity on what that calling was, and you had time in prayer, and you had trust there, and then obviously you showed consistency to James, and he built trust with you. So what's it been like for you guys maintaining that trust and just strengthening your relationship in this journey?
Gosh, I mean, well, with a baby, it's definitely like a lot of give and take. I have like a full-time job, so I work 40 hours a week doing my job, and then I feel like I've had to make sure to like support Becca wherever I could, because obviously she's watching Coda throughout my full-time job, so there's like a give and take there where we're helping each other out with like the little things. So on a day-to-day basis, it looks very, very much so like very meticulous in choosing who's taking care of him at what time, like who's doing the chores, who's able to get some things done while the other person can focus on their tasks for their career that they have to do. So logistically, it's been a lot of moving pieces.
But at the same time, I feel like it's just so second nature too, because like after work, like I said, like I'll always just in the mundane moments, like if we're just on the beach together or just like taking a walk, I'll whip out my camera and create content. So I feel like it's also not something that's like, okay, schedule now, let's shoot content. It's just honestly like a very seamless transition.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think there's like a give and take there too, because we're very much like, Becca's always had a planner with like a meticulous calendar. So she plans out her days and she fills her life like to the fullest. But also she makes time to be spontaneous and have those little, life giving moments throughout the week.
That's good.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people would relate to having a lot of drive and passion for what they do for work. But then there are specific careers that sometimes will like seep into your personal life. And I think for you, that's the value of the work that you do, is that it doesn't have to be separate from your personal life. But I'm assuming sometimes that can be a challenge as well, like separating regular life from work.
Yes.
And also that can be one of the things that can be a challenge for especially married couples or people with families, and can feel like disunifying, or it can feel like divisive when it's like always work time, or like there's not a separation. How do you guys manage that?
So for all of my like editing and behind the scenes stuff, when I'm actually like on my phone, I'll do that when Code is sleeping, because I don't want him to see me like always on my phone. That's something that we both like have just agreed on from the start. Cool. So usually when he's napping on me is when I'll like do all my editing. But yeah, I feel like
I love his belly. Sorry, I got distracted by his belly.
He's just hanging out.
Yeah. So yeah, you do your editing when he's asleep.
Yeah. And then obviously like we'll try not to be on my phone when he's awake, of course, unless I'm just like recording a quick 10-second clip of him or something.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of the neighbors were.
Oh, that's okay. I can't hear you.
A lot of the behind the scenes editing, admin work is all done when he's asleep. And then at night, I really just like have had to. It's hard as an entrepreneur to shut that part of you off, because your gears are always winding, and you're always thinking like, what could I create? What's a good idea? Like your gears are always going.
Yeah.
So James has actually been the one to encourage me, like, you don't need to work all day long. Like you need to shut off like a normal, you're working a normal job. So I've had that. I feel like that's taken me some time, because it's hard, like as somebody who is entrepreneurial minded, to shut off. It feels like unnatural, but especially in a marriage, it's extremely important to do that. Cool. So yeah.
So those boundaries are created because you guys have like priorities and values in your marriage.
Yeah.
So what are those?
I feel like
you can jump into it if you feel like there's specific values that you guys have carried that kind of create the boundaries for you guys.
Yeah. I feel like,
I mean, I think one is really focusing on, like, we're both, I would say, extroverts, and want to, have a very high, like, we want people around. We want community around for sure. And we place a high value on community. But I think one value for sure is that we want to make sure that we spend time with each other, like, and carve out that time
together.
So that's like, I think, first and foremost within our marriage, we carve out time specifically to be together. So that's one value.
Do you guys schedule that?
Well,
No,
honestly,
not on like calendar, we don't. Okay. But we're just like, okay,
It is one of those things, like, we both tell each other this all the time, but we honestly, we don't get sick of each other. Like, that's just kind of like how it is in our marriage.
We're the kind of people who could spend every single second of every single day and be like, I miss you.
Yeah, like if I spend 2 hours away from her, I'm like, okay, it's time for me to be back. Like,
I need to go home.
So I think it comes naturally, honestly. If I have an afternoon with like friends or something like that, and I get dinner with friends or something, I'm like, okay, that's too much time away from my wife. You're like, okay, guys. I need a night with my wife.
Yeah.
So
it's cool.
Yeah. That's one.
Okay, so quality time together is one of them, and then you mentioned the technology use. So there's an underlying value with that? So obviously you are doing content creation, but then you're also trying to hold this tension of the value of like less technology somehow might be better for a developing kid. Like, how do you, like, where's that value coming from? Or what is that value?
Sorry.
You're good.
My dad's face.
You want to pick up?
Yeah,
That'd be fun. If you want to.
We should have him. Have him join. That's so funny.
No.
No, just
Do
have him
it.
join.
I dare you.
Have him join.
Hi. I'm on a podcast right now.
On a podcast?
Okay, I'll call you after. Okay, love you.
He's like, what?
I love that. That's hilarious.
That's
He's
so
like,
funny.
what?
Yeah, what's that technology value for you?
I just don't want Coda to grow up and just see me on my phone working.
Mm-hmm.
I want him to know me as like a present mom, which is all like that's
good.
what I am, and that's why I share on my social media. So yeah, like especially when like this afternoon I was just like literally just playing with him, and I didn't want my phone near me. I didn't want any work near me. I just want to give him like the attention that he deserves, because all children want to be included and not distracted. So
It's so cool.
yeah, so I feel like drawing that line in my head of, you know, okay, it's time to work now, and then it's time to take a break and you know, be intentional with my.
I love that word you use, the just being present, because I think it actually projects you into being more capable and producing more. It doesn't actually pull away from you. So because you're present with James, then it gives you the trust needed to be able to like be fully into the content creation thing.
Yeah.
Because you're present with Coda, then you don't feel bad when you are editing and he's asleep, because you've already spent time with him.
Yeah.
Like, I think that is such an important value for anyone who's achieving anything alongside other people, is like, number one, being present with your relationship with God, or your relationship with your spouse, or your partner, or your relationship with your family, and then even your relationship with community. That doesn't like pull away, but it actually fuels what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I love that. So let's move to the content creation conversation. So there's a few different like spheres of influence even within that world.
Yeah.
So you mentioned before the podcast started, like you have some peers, and then you have like your online community.
Yeah.
And you even have like people that you're working with, like brands and even like management. So let's start just with like the broader one, with the online community. So what does that look like day to day, and how are you building community? Because it is like, when people talk about online community, they don't realize like the word community is like they're united on a common thing. So, you know, common unity. So what is that common thing that they're united around, and how do you create unity in that space?
Yeah. I feel like on my stories, I've definitely, on Instagram stories, I definitely like showing my personality and being personable, and having anyone who reaches out on like a DM, I always want to be the type of content creator who actually responds to them and continues the conversation with them. And you know, if anybody, let's say they're commenting on my post or something, I always like to go back and, you know, engage with them, you know, talk to them through DMs. I want to be, no matter how big my business could get, I always want to be like in reach and reachable and personable.
Cool.
Yeah, I just always want to be that kind of content creator to really like engage with my audience.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. So then what are you doing to post that is creating that connection, even among all of them? Like they all have like a common vision for life, and there's something that they see resonates with them in what you're posting about. So like with the practical things, like with reels, or even like the vibe of what you're doing, like how do you create like unity there?
Yeah, I feel like by posting more vlog style videos where I'm just going about my day and talking about, you know, what I'm doing with my family, what I'm doing with James. I feel like by just being myself on social media, you naturally attract a community, because I don't want to ever just be like a face, or, you know, behind the camera. No one actually knows what I stand for, what I believe in, or who I am as a person. So
Cool.
yeah, I feel like just being really personable on Reels, on TikTok, on just social media in general really helps, like, gain your followers' trust, because I'll never promote like a product that I don't actually use or believe in. So doing that to build you know, trust there, and just engaging with other people on there.
That's so cool. So then, how I think you mentioned before that some of the people that are your closest friends have actually come from social media.
Yes.
How have you moved from like people being just audience members or even just like peers, content creators on social media, to friends?
So I always tell people this, because I feel like social media is very cool, because their feed and what they're posting, you can already tell if you have like a common ground before you meet up with them. So honestly, like, I've met my closest friends from literally just a coffee meetup. Like, one of my best friends, she jokes that I like slid into her DMs and I was like, do you want to get coffee?
That's
cool. And she had never met up with somebody from the internet before, but yeah.
How was that? Was that awkward, or was that?
No,
it wasn't?
I feel like
That's cool.
we just clicked, and but yeah, I you know, met up with her, and I was a little nervous going into it, because I'm like, oh my gosh. Really? James was like, where are you going?
Yeah, like,
who
is this person you met online,
yeah,
like catfishing you or something? Yeah.
But no, it was just after that meetup, I'm like, wow, it really clicked. Like, these are real people behind these accounts with craving friendship and craving that community and connection. So when I moved to California, I didn't know anybody. Okay. And I had followed lots of California content creators, and I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm just going to message this girl, see if she wants to meet up for coffee. Cool. And I feel like that ball just kept rolling. And then you meet one friend and their whole friend group, and you all have that common denominator. Whether that be like Christian circles or, in just content in general, or content creators. So yeah, I have met a lot of my closest friends through social media over the years, and I feel like it's just such a cool way to meet people. And
yeah, that's a really cool take on it, because I think a lot of people will say like, oh, being on social media will just pull you away from real life or from community. But I think it's not social media, it's just the way that you use the social media. Yes. And it sounds like you've had a lot of intentionality in the way that you've helped that be a tool for you for connection, instead of like pull you away from real life. So I think that's just another principle that people can draw from, is like, everyone probably is on social media that listens. That's probably even how they found out about the podcast. But how are you going to use it to create connection around you? Are you going to let it take you away from reality and take you away from being present? Or are you going to like use it as a tool to help you create connection? So you've done that, created connection, not only with the friends that you've met up with and you've become like close with, but you've also hosted like different, like I know Ari went to like a craft or what is it?
Patchwork jeans.
Yeah. What are they called?
Patchwork jeans.
Patchwork jeans. Yeah. Her and I joke about patchwork jeans, because I'm like, they're not patchwork jeans. They're jeans that you did patchwork on.
I know.
And then I was like, they're just jeans with a patch on them. Yes. Anyways, we joke around all the time. But so yeah, give me like a better understanding of like what your vision is for those kinds of nights and why you do them, and how that's created community for you.
Well, I've always been a social person. I've always loved my friends. I've always loved just having my like core group of friends. And I feel like, again, moving here, I didn't know anybody, and I really was just craving those like deep friendships. And I feel like sometimes it's hard. Like not everybody wants to leave their house and to go to a social event or something like that. But I I wanted to just start hosting just very casual, chill get-togethers at my house where girls could come and meet other friends and really just dive into community.
Can I ask you something about that?
Yeah.
So you didn't wait for people to invite you or to like ask you to be a part of their community. You
No.
like went and did it.
Yes.
So do you feel like people are normally like that, or do you feel like that's unique?
I feel like that's unique, but
Yeah.
I don't know. My parents growing up have always been the type of people who have always just like invited anyone to their house. Their house was always a revolving door.
That's cool.
And I always loved the idea of having that one day. And they're always hosting something, whether it be like a Sunday afternoon after church get together at their house or like a midday dinner with a group of friends. Like I have just always loved that. And so then once, getting married and having a house of my own, the idea of hosting little get-togethers like that has just excited me. So yeah, I feel like it's a super fun way to bring different groups of girls together, because the girls who I'll have at my house, it's like social media friends mixed with friends from church mixed with a group of different friends, and everyone just has fun together. So
yeah, I love that. I think we covered a lot of really good stuff, but I want to get to like the main vision of what you're doing, just kind of go back to it a little bit. What is the biggest challenge that you think moms have, like when it comes to feeling like they're living a full life?
I feel like the biggest challenge is, again, society makes you feel like you can't do anything and you can't leave your house, or if you leave your house, it'll just be too much, too stressful with a kid. So it's better and easier to just stay home. And I love just looking at that through a different lens where, yes, it might be harder to leave the house with your children or your child, but it's worth it because you're cultivating community with other women. And I don't think people really realize how important that is until they're needing that community and that need to fill that void.
Cool.
So
yeah. How do you feel like that's affected James's experience of you in a marriage, because you've chosen to still like live a full life and be adventurous and all of that?
He's also very much like that as well. Like he loves his. Are you going back into talking?
Yeah, you can speak about it too if you want.
James, you want to answer that?
Wait, what was the question?
So like, how has her like relentlessness ASMR matcha? How has her relentlessness in having a full life changed your experience of her? Because like a lot of the times when you're not living a full life, it doesn't just affect you, it affects the people around you.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, honestly, I think it's inspired me because I think something that I've realized over the last I'd say like a year or so is like my calling that God's given me is to be in community with Christian men and like affect young men's lives. And I, there's all sorts of specifics that I feel like I'm accomplishing that goal, and like God is able to work through me in those areas. But it inspires me because I see BEKAH being in such great community with her friends and her community that she's built. It inspires me to be like, okay, so there's more time in the day than I thought to accomplish God's will for my life,
Yeah.
So one, it's inspiring. He's so funny right now. But two, I mean, just like, I think being in a deep rooted community is also just better for our marriage too. Like, not that, like, I don't know. I guess, I don't want to like just, it's not like letting anyone into our marriage, but it's just more so like being in community with people around us is
And
like
spreading the love to other people.
Yeah.
That's so
Wait,
cool.
what was that?
No, I was gonna, and also the community that we came from in New Jersey was it was like a very tight-knit, solid core community. So I feel like having moved to Nashville for 3 years and then now here for 2 years, your community is, the community that we built and had in Nashville was gone. And we wanted to continue that, that like cultivation process with other people moving here. And we literally will look at each other sometimes and we're like, wow, we have just the most amazing community here.
Yeah.
It's crazy because not everyone can say that when they move to a new place. But we both really just love our community. We love on them, love our friends, and want to really just like spread that love that we have to other people.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it takes effort. It definitely
sure.
takes effort. Yeah, bud.
He's like, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say like the first week we moved here, we decided to go to our church, Genesis, in the Costa Mesa area. And yeah, I don't know, like we instantly went and we were like, oh my gosh, we don't know anyone here, but this feels like home. So it takes effort to not only one, go to the place and step outside of your comfort zone, but also like, I mean, after the service, 2 people that I'm like good friends with to this day, like introduced themselves to me, and it took courage on their part to say hi at church to a new person. So I just think that courage is always, it's always going to yield good results. It's not going to, like having courage to go up to someone and say hi and develop a relationship is never going to be a bad thing, if that makes sense.
I love that.
I think I also want to say also, I feel like naturally everyone might not want to go meet up with that person for lunch or go get coffee with that person. They just want to sit home and be comfortable. And if there's anything that James and I have just learned over the past years, it's that those little interactions with people make a huge difference. You don't often know how much of an impact you're having on somebody until something happens where they share that I had a friend share one time that she felt closer to God when she was talking with me, and she was saying like, I feel closer to God when I'm talking to you. I feel happy. I feel what is this joy that you have? And it was in those moments that I realized that every interaction, it's a divine interaction. These are people.
It's okay.
These are people. These are people with souls who crave that community and that divine interaction. And I also love social media for that reason, is that on a platform, I'm able to share God's love and be open about my faith and what I believe in. And you just don't know who that's inspiring. Some, I've had people like James and I had we went through an ectopic pregnancy 2 years ago and lost a baby. And I talked about that on social media, and the amount of people who flooded my DMs saying that like, I just lost a baby. I couldn't talk about it with anybody. This was too sensitive of a topic for me to bring up to my friends. I'm so happy you talked about this. Like raising awareness for that. And also just being that, like I said, being that open book for people to come in, ask for prayer, ask for advice on how, I navigated the grief and stuff like that. So
wow,
I don't know.
That's so cool. So I love the woven theme that you've been talking about courage, and then vulnerability, intentionality, and then I think in your guys' marriage, one of the things that, like we talked about, I was hearing was consistency and trust.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you'd want to add that would help people be better together in their sphere of influence?
I feel like that sums it up.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. How would people find you if they wanted to work with you or get to know you or stuff like that?
I'm just Rebekah Lynn Callis on all platforms. Rebekah though. The biblical.
Rebekah.
Yes, the
Okay.
biblical Hebrew spelling.
Nice.
Rebekah Lynn Callis.
For those of you who don't know Hebrew, all of us.
On Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's but I go by BEKAH.
Awesome.
But
Cool. And then give people one really crazy fun fact that like not many people know about you.
There was one time in my life where I thought that I would be fluent in Mandarin.
And then what happened?
And then I gave up because it was way too hard.
No, where is the consistency? The heck? I don't know if I
Well,
trust you
I was
anymore.
also thought that I wanted to be a missionary in China, so that was my
Nice.
motivation. But
Hey, you can still like influence China.
I know.
Now that you're on social media, there you go.
Well, that was also like a whole growing up. I wanted to be a missionary all throughout like middle school and stuff, and then it just really hit me also that you can be you can be a missionary where you are and be like, for me, that's on social media and like you know, just spreading the gospel on social media and being vocal about my faith and what I believe in. So
I love that. That's so
Yeah.
cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and
Thank
thank you,
you for
James,
having
too.
me.
You want to say bye on the camera real quick before we go? Yeah. Well, here's James crawling over here to say bye.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Yeah,
Just
thank you
think it's
guys
falling.
both so much for being willing to take some time out of your afternoon
Yeah, of
with a
course.
baby and making it work and hosting us in your living room.
Yeah.
If you guys want to learn more about what we're up to, what Trellis is up to, the people who are producing this podcast, go to wearetrellis.com, or you can find us on social media. But the podcast, it's called Better Together, and you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And we'll have some cute videos of Coda being a cute baby. And again, if you want to hear about their story about how they met, go on that link that we're going to put in the bio.
yes, on my YouTube.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode. See you guys soon.
Bye.